So for the purpose of this video, we're looking at the questions that were sent in the WhatsApp chat today, which have two assembly drawings, number 1 and number 2, and then there's number 3, which you're supposed to do oblique projection using this figure. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'll begin with the longer questions, which are the assembly drawings. And CXC is going to give you, they usually give you 2 options and you have to choose one. Now for one of these, the much easier option is the screw jack, which is at the top, so I'll begin by doing that. And they did not give you a plan view nor an end view, only this front view. Now the thing about this front view is, the reason that they have only given this front view, the top of it is circular. We know that because it has diameter, so it's a cylindrical top. And then we have a square base. So square 100 means it's 100 square all around. So I'm going to start by drawing the plan. I'm just going to draw center line. And then we're going to offset 50. 50 to the left, 50 to the right, 50, 50 up, and 50 down. Alright, so there we have our square, and we're going to just check the measurements of it. No, I am not answering this the way that I usually explain for you to answer in the exam, because I'm just trying to show you how we have done the drawing. So in the exam, the first thing that you would usually do, you complete question B, which is to print the title, print the scale, and show your symbol. So I'm going to do that in just a few minutes. Alright, so you have the rectangle at the bottom, and there's a circle at the top, diameter 62. So we go with diameter 62, that's the top circle, and then there's a hidden detail 50. Diameter 50, and I'm just going to make that one hidden. And there's some webs, there are 4 webs actually, which are 12 coming across from the diameter 50. So the way these will look in the plan view, you have the 12 here, so they will look something like this, outside 6. Now because there are 12, it means that there's 6 on each side. So 6 up, 6 down, 6 left, 6 right, and neutral. Now remember that these are webs, and these webs are just touching are connecting the cylindrical piece to the base, and that's the reason why there are webs. They're just supporting the actual upright of the figure. They're not really connected to anything like that other than the upright. Alright, so now that it's finished, I'll start the front view and also start the end view. So I project this line up. When it hits, we just go up 10, and so we draw this across, bring this piece up, and now we're going to offset 50. 50 is the first measurement going up, and then there's a 90 going all the way to the top. So 90 and 50 are 140. So we're going to offset 140 and realize that this is from the top line. And now I'm going to project out the 50. That is the main thickness of the object. And I'm going to offset 10 up here to do this bulk piece that's at the top, which is diameter 62, which is the bigger line that we are using here. And I'm just trying here to clean up a little bit so it doesn't look so messy. So remember over here we had the 50 that came up. We have our webs there. Alright, so I'm just going to delete some of those projection lines. Just going to leave that there. We come here. And we're going to trim. Alright, so that is generally the body. I'm not going to put in the box that are there. But you should be able to see it has in these curves. Those curves are at 10. So to get in those curves, we just bring the center line across, offset 5, and this will allow me to draw circles here at radius 5, which will both touch the top and the bottom. And now I can be able to trim. Alright, so this is the figure. For the most part, that they have set. Alright, so we have the pieces going up, we have the web that is going through the middle, and we have these pieces here. Just going to delete the projection so the drawing is a little cleaner. Alright, so even though this is just the front and the plan view, this is almost finished. There's a diameter 24 that has a single start thread, a diameter 24, sorry, and a diameter 30. So there are 2 more circles that we need to put in. Offset, not offset. We're going to go with diameter 24. There's a small circle that comes up. And then we offset this at 30, coming down. And then we have to offset the other one down to 30. We'll draw a second circle, diameter 30. Alright, so these are the holes that are in the figure that we will see. So I'm just going to trim up, clean up the hidden tail that's on the inside. And this is the inner part of the figure. No, this piece is supposed to be sectioned. They have asked for a sectional front, so I'm going to section this one time. So the sectional front of this, you will have this hole coming straight through. You will not see the web here. You will see the 2 webs at the sides. Remember, you do sectional webs, you don't cut webs. So you will see the inner piece like this. And this piece here will be like that. Alright, so we have our front view that is ready to be sectioned. And now we have this piece here, which is the screw that really goes into the object. So for the sake of this, I'm going to draw it separately because I know most of you draw it separately. So I'll start with the circular piece and the vertical line. And so when we come here, this circular piece here is diameter 24. And then we have here this piece, which has diameter 48. So that will be an offset of 24 to the left and 24 to the right. And then it has 48, so it's 24 up and 24 down. And then we trim. And then there is a shaft, which is diameter 24, coming down for 100. So I'm going to offset at 100. and then draw in that diameter 24, which is 12 to the left and 12 to the right. Okay, so the shaft here, the body of the shaft is almost done. And then we have here 14 and 16. So I'm just going to offset the 14, offset 14. And then it says here that there's a groove 7 wide, 2 deep. So the depth inside is 2 and it's 3.5 up, 3.5 down. So I'm going to offset 16 first going up. And then I'll offset here 3.5. And then I'll offset 2 to go in to draw the actual groove. Okay, so that is basically the figure. And I'm not going to draw much else with this because I have the main body of it. There are a few other pieces. So I'm going to draw this top piece, which is 48 and 72 square. So we'll start with the center. And for this one, I'm going to start by drawing the plan view. Now the bottom of this piece is diameter 48. And as we come up with the 48, there's a 72 at the top, and the 72 is square. So what is half of 72? Half of 72 is 36. Right, so I'm going to draw a circle here at radius 36. Right, and there's a top. Now the height of this goes up 35. So draw my 35 going outwards, and now I'll bring up the 72 to meet that. Now remember that the 72 though is a square. So down here, this needs to be drawn like a square. So I'm just finishing up the 72 square that you'll see at the top. Alright, so here's that piece, and that piece has a hole going through it, which is a diameter 24. So just copy the diameter 24 from here. Let me just make sure it is the correct thing. That's 30. So this one here is diameter 24. So there's my diameter 24, and the two of these are hidden because these holes are at the bottom. And I'll just draw this 24 going straight through. Alright, so that's the hole, that is that piece, and now there's a broken piece that is here. When we think of the assembly, the screw jack is being placed into this part. So I'm just going to move that now. Let me turn these layers to a different color. Just for the sake of the video, you will not change the color in the drawing. You will make sure that it's outlined when you actually do it. So we can see the screw jack comes into play here. and that is how it fits in. So then fill out the bottom of the screw that. That's the bottom line. Now what I'm missing here is the plan view of these pieces. So I will actually see this circular piece, which is solid in the plan view. So that one will be solid. So I'm just making the plan of this piece. And I will also see this smaller circle here. And these will be in the plan view on the middle. So that will also be solid. So it's already there, this size. So I'll just change those to outline. But for the sake of the video, I'm just using text so the students can see it on the projector better. Alright, so I have the screw jack in here already. So that screw jack is finished. And now we're going to put this headpiece. So we know that this piece slots on top of the screw jack. So for this, I'm going to copy it. Now, when it comes here, which drawing y'all doing? Which drawing y'all doing? You screwed up, number one? It's here on the board, so just take a look. I really don't know why y'all would have any trouble at all doing this drawing. But anyhow, so this top piece, this piece is placed on the top here, and you would realize that the line is actually off a little bit. You would realize that the slot that is in it, it lines up perfectly for the little pin that is there at the bottom. Alright, so that is finished. And I have to put this piece now, the rectangle for this in the plan view. Now usually you project it down and draw the plan here. But I'm just going to copy this piece down to the plan view. And I'll change these layers to red. So the whole thing about this drawing is that you have to assemble so that you can get your marks for the assembly. And so now that that goes on, that is going to be dark. Everything else under here is going to be in detail. And all of these other lanes will be in detail. Alright, so at this point, this little M8 screw, you would draw that in there to hold it. And you would also draw this bolt. Look at the drawing, everyone. Look at board. So this is a very long pin here. That's a 400. 400 is a very long size. So what they have done is they just did a break in the middle of it. Pay attention. So if you were drawing this piece, you would redraw the break similarly. So you would not draw the whole piece at 400. Like this is 400 here, which is crazy long. The diameter of it is 24, so we count on 24. So this is if I had to draw the full thing. Now, what engineers do, instead of drawing this long crazy thing, you would draw it shorter. A short measurement is still within 24, and then you would insert a break. You follow me? So what is a break? A break is a spline. So when you go over here by draw, you're gonna see like there's a polyline, there's a spline fit. There are different types of splines. So what we're gonna do, we just follow some points. Are you looking, Raheem? So then we draw. Are you looking, Raheem? So as we get there now, you click close, and this is our spline. We just trim off. So we will have our break, and the reason for the break once again is to show that this piece is shortened. So I have only done one to the right side. Let me do a second one over here. This time I'll just type in spline. and you can literally draw the curves. Don't worry if AutoCAD freaks out like this sometimes, but just draw the curves, take your time, draw the curves, click the points, control it as it's freaking out, then you just bring it back up. Are you paying attention? And then we close. So once you close it, it may look silly, it may look strange like this, that's not a problem. But the point is that you show your break. And with this figure, our break will be over here. And remember, the whole purpose of the break is so that we do not draw a piece that is 400 millimeters long. But you know, you listen to anything that was said? Well, I hear you clicking, so remember this is a video. All right, so the break is there. Now this is the assembly of the drawing. When I look at the parts of the figure, the only part that will not be sectioned is this little piece here, because that has the M8. Now, even though this piece here has the M8 hole, this is not the fastener. You understand that, DeMarco? So the only part that will not be sectioned is this little thing here. So for the sake of time, I can just draw in something here quickly to represent that little piece. So that little piece will come in here, something like this. And that's basically the little piece in there. So we're gonna section. Stop working by now. So we're gonna look at the different parts. How many parts do I have up here? How many parts are up here? Incorrect. No. Pardon? 3, no. So we change the section lengths. Remember to use the correct layer. So we got a top piece. This top piece has, what is wrong? Okay. This top piece has a hole, so we section in there, beautiful. And we change the size. So this is how we will section the top. That's one piece. Do we section this little piece here? No. No. Good. Now this piece here has threads. Does it have threads though? Yeah. All right. So we would not section that either, because that has threads. So we will section the bottom piece here. So we section this bottom piece. I am going to flip it the other direction. You don't have to, but remember that you need to show that there are different sections for the two different parts, okay? So that's the section for the most part. I have, why am I not seeing this long thing in here? You know? It's the same 24. Look, this is it here. So in one view, look this way. I will show your computer outside. Do not touch your laptop again, please. Look this way. I think I send this to you, mommy. The reason that we're not drawing the 24, the long piece, in one view it's like this. Look, Serena, you can see. In one view it's like this, in the other view it's like this. So we can see it like this in this view here. If I had to draw end view, I would then see the long piece sticking out. Do we see that long piece in the plan? Yes, because when we project downwards, I'm going to project down using yellow. So where's the long piece? I deleted the hole. So the hole that is here, that was here, good. That hole, we will have to show this long piece in the plan view. So it will still have the break and whatnot, but for the most part, this will be it. And this is a long piece that we are now showing in the plan elevation. So just a few things as we start working. This is our assembly, the easier assembly of the two. We have our plan view, we have our front view. So quick question, where have I lost marks? Pardon me? The color, good. So all of these here need to be changed to outline. The only reason that I have not changed these for this video is so the video is not very, very long. So these will be changed here to outlines, unless you will lose a mark, about 2 marks, sorry, for line work. So all of these here will be red. All right, so that's one area that we lost marks. Was the other area? Can't hear you. Title, we don't have the title. So we need to come here and put screw in lowercase or uppercase. Always write in block letters. Screw jack assembly. Make sure you spell it correctly. Screw jack assembly. So when you do this at the start of your exam, do the scale the 1 time. Scale is 1:1 because they ask you to do it full size. When you practice these things now, they will become second hand. So you just draw in. What is it I'm drawing now?
Symbol.
So you need to make sure you draw the symbol at the 5 and you come 10. It is very important for you to practice them so that you remember them as you go forward. You don't want to wait till the evening of the exam, the evening before the exam, to start trying to practice things. Alright, so here's our symbol. Remember, I am using the incorrect layer. Alright, so symbol is finished. Alright, where else have I lost marks in this figure? You need center lines. Some of y'all don't draw center lines. You gotta change these things to center line. What else do we need to do, Serena? Pardon me? 6 dimensions, beautiful. So the 6 dimensions. Now, this is something I always tell you, but I'm gonna go back here to it for this one. Just copy or just reproduce dimensions that are here. So you see how they have the M8 with the arrow there? Just reproduce the dimensions that are here. How they have the diameter 24, just reproduce it. The square 100, we don't usually do a square measurement. So I would change this. So we double left click it. We go up to symbol. And where is square? I'm not seeing square, but square should be somewhere in here for us to find it. Pardon me? Alright, not seeing it for now, but we will come back in class about it, but it is going to be in here for our square. So, with that being said, we will move on to the other dimensions that we will have. And so you can either put in the diameter 30, you can even put in the 4 webs 12 thick, or any of these. Alright, so we're moving into question 2. Well, before we go ahead, please remember to label your drawing. Sectional front view on plane AA, whatever the plane is. And remember to put your cutting plane into the figure by using the leader. So we come out here by the leader, and we have the leader over here to the next side. Alright, so now with that being said, I'm going to stop the video in a few minutes. We're going to come here to the second question, which has asked us to draw this object in oblique projection. Now, oblique projection is one of the easiest forms of projection you can use because it's a blend between orthographic and isometric. So in your oblique drawing, you always draw one flat side. And there's a sensible side to draw that will be easy, but there's one that will be difficult. Which one do you think we need to draw as a flat side? Why? Why will it be easier? To do what? The circle, okay? So, that is the rationale. We would draw the part that shows or has the circle because we do not want to draw a circle in oblique projection. It's going to take up a lot of time and we ain't really got that a lot of time. Now remember, the exam has finished, but you have to organize your time well so that you have completed these things in the exam. So we have here our radius 25, and from that radius 25 we're coming up 20, I could offset, but I'll just draw this up. So up 20, across, and all we're doing is redrawing the view. And what's the height of this piece? 33, and there's a 10 hidden detail. All right, so offset 33, and that is diameter 15, offset 15 for the diameter 30, and it's a circle. So we still have to draw a circle anyhow. We can't get away from it. But for this oblique question, you can either do it in Cavalier or Cabinet. And here's the textbook. Hold a second. Yes, sir. Come into the school next to the clinic. So there's driver. You got opposite of that. All right. So the thing about oblique is oblique drawings can be done at 30 degrees, 60, or 45. Commonly, they're done at 45. CXC may ask you to do Cavalier or Cabinet. Okay, so the thing about those two, this is what you need to remember. If a reduction is made to the oblique length, this is something called Cavalier. So if CXC tells you to do it in Cavalier projection, you have to reduce the slanted length. You understand that, DeMarco? You have to reduce the slanted length. These are the three angles that you can use. Okay? However, if they do not want a reduction in the length, if a reduction in the oblique length is made, we're using Cabinet. If there is no reduction, we use Cavalier. So if they tell you to use Cavalier, you don't change the measurement. If they tell you to use Cabinet, we change the measurement. All right? So with that being said, just let me send this in chat. All right, and we're gonna do it in Cabinet, where we're gonna make a reduction of the length. Now 45, what is the reduction that they're making for 45? 1/2, so that's half. You understand? So if we had to reduce the slanted length, we would use half. Remember, that is Cabinet, okay? So just pulling back at the question. All right, so what are we really speaking about? The length of this here is 70. So this line that comes up, if I'm doing it at a 45, originally it should be 70, but if I'm making a reduction, it will now be 35. You understand that? So let me draw the center here at the same 35, and let me copy this piece here to the back. This is Cabinet where we're making a reduction. Remember, the reduction is only made to the oblique length, okay? Now over here, just looking for a tangent. And it's not giving us a tangent, so I'm gonna draw a 45-degree line here. And I'll just connect the two 45s. So this is my slanted measurement. And now I'll just trim. All right, you understand this so far? You understand how this looks so far? No. So that is the body of the figure. Now what we need to do is we need to put in this hole that is here in the middle. So this hole is supposed to be 35 up. Half of 35 is what? 17.5. So we bring our line tool. 17.5. Yes, sir. Where you are? Yeah. Drive straight. All right, when you drive straight in, take a left turn, and I'll meet you there. All right, so the circle is 15 across, and then we do our 15 to the left. Now at this point, you're going to have to do a bit of construction to make an oblique circle. An oblique circle is not an ellipse, it is offset quite a bit. So I'm just going to draw the center line here, 35. And I'm just going to trim to clean this up a little more. The only points that I'm going to use, or I'm going to leave, I'll just leave the center. So this is the center. At this point, I'm going to draw a box. The box is going to be 15 up, 15 across, 30. And the reason that I'm doing this box is because I am going to use this to make my circle in this piece. Y'all follow me so far? So, how do we make a circle? Just give me a figure, I'll go to someone.